Okay, let's see how this works for a Stitch With Me video. I noticed a lot of people are making them. I really liked Nat's. So I have got Stars for a New Millennium. And it hit me that I do not have the thread pulled yet. It's in my stitching box, which is behind me, but we're working with Splendor from Rainbow Galleries, which is a silk 12 ply silk. So there's the floss. And that click was my scissors on my magnet. I generally stitch with an arm's length. Makes it easier for laying. And I am stitching with 3 strands. Can I tell you, getting these nails, stranding is more difficult, but it is fun to have them. And right now there's nobody in the house but me and the beagles. It is December 27th. I invited people over for a stitch-in, and several people showed up, and they have recently left. And there are more people that are coming after work. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and do the Stitch With Me video. Threading a needle with long nails has also not been fun to do. And if I can't get it in the second try, we will cheat and use a needle threader. If I can... We're going to cheat and use the needle threader. I once had a stitching teacher that told me if you had to use a needle threader, your eyesight was so bad that you needed to stop stitching. And I'm like, yeah, no. So she's entitled to her opinion and I'm entitled to mine. And there are times I do feel that a needle threader is cheating, but there are other times when it's not. Okay, I start my stitches with an away waist knot, which is a needlepoint term of, I can't believe I just unthreaded that, making my waist knot. Can you even see what I'm doing here? Okay, people, come on. All 3 of you in. Let's go. Drop the needle threader down next to my chair. Okay, so we have the away waist knot ready to go. Oh, this is going to be interesting because I don't think you're going to be able to see anything. I think my hand's going to be in the way. So yes, I am a left-handed stitcher. This needs to come up here, and that knot is not going to be far enough away to get decent coverage. So we're actually going to come down that side, come up here. And we're going to demonstrate how to use a laying tool. So the purpose of having a laying tool is making sure that all of your threads lay flat and don't cross over each other. So probably can't see that without a close-up. But you'll see I've got the threads are separated. They don't cross over each other. Make sure that they're all level, all even. And I don't like the way those are laying. Tell you what, we're going to stop that for a second. We're going to trim off this tail. Trim here, tail. And into the orb jar. See how these are kind of crossing over themselves? Or backtrack a little, get them separated. When they say stroking with your laying tool, this is what they mean. And I've got one that just keeps crossing over. So once upon a time, I worked in a needlework shop, and the owner was really big on the book Stitching to Perfection by Shea Pendray, where she said all needleworkers should aim to have perfectly tensioned, perfectly laid stitches. And what works for needlework, what works for needlepoint canvas also works for cross stitch people. There's no reason you cannot lay your stitches out flat, especially if you're doing long stitches. So it's 2 days after Christmas. I hope everybody who celebrates Christmas had a good holiday. If you celebrate something else, I hope you still had a good holiday. So stitching plans for 2018. I've started thinking about it because 2018 is less than a week away. And I like going into the new year with plans. Pull out my gridding fiber there. So I am thinking for 2018 that I'm going to, well, I know I'm doing Stitch from Stash because otherwise my spending gets totally out of control and it's like, I want to buy this, I want to buy this, I want to buy this. You know, I totally swore off sales. I was not going to do any stitch alongs this year because I always end up getting behind, and then I get mad at myself because I fell behind. And besides that, I have some unfinished stitch alongs upstairs in my WIP pile as it is. In fact, this piece was a stitch along from the Teresa Wentzler bulletin board. Back when it was on Yuku, before Facebook. And this is, as I mentioned, this is Stars for a New Millennium by Anthony Maneri. And I finished 2 stars and thought, you know, I want to get the border done. I really would like to get the border done. And no, I didn't pull any of the colorways he suggested. I'm using fibers that are not ones he suggested because I like bling. And I like pretty. And a pattern is just a place to start, so you might as well personalize it and make it your own. So I added Very Velvet here. And I've got metallics here. And I don't like the way this one's laying. It's twisted. Let's see, it's twisted. It gets harder when you get to the end. There we go. And, you know, I think I can get one more stitch out of this strand. There's some of you that do really long stranding. They're going, oh my gosh, I can't believe she finished that so fast. And see, I did it again. This is what the problem with thinking you can get one more stitch out of it. And remember, I dropped the needle threader. Hey. So that is my son home, and I have needle threader now. I'm filming. My son and my husband went out to get a new headboard for one of the kids, because you can usually pick up some good after Christmas deals when people get new stuff and they give away their old. And the two of them found a 1970s style headboard. Okay, this is probably going to be tricky. There. Okay. Anyway, the two of them found a 1970s style headboard at an online ad. They just went off to pick it up. There are my 3 strands. I love working with silk.
Wrong one. Oh, wrong one. You open the other one.
My bad.
There we go. These.
They probably want dinner. I have not fed them.
I know what time is it, puppy dogs?
They're 5 minutes late for dinner.
What time is it?
I'm surprised that they haven't complained that I'm 5 minutes late for dinner.
Is that so?
Here, I was going to show you how to use laying tools instead of spending all the time threading needles. I'm going to go ahead and thread 2 up so we can just switch in between. The nice thing about a splendour is it is a 12 strand. So when you're stitching with 3 strands, you get 4 threads out of it. What are they doing?
Well, they're just looking at me so sad.
Because it's past
So
supper
sad.
time. It
Is it
is.
dinner?
It is past dinner.
Oh no. Poor dog.
My husband's gonna feed the dogs.
Well, what if I just like literally jumps? Try to, like,
Yeah.
It
Right?
doesn't know how to
Can
continue.
you fill that with water?
Yeah.
Get some water. Good God.
Still got it in the frame.
Good. Right.
There's the away waist knot.
Thank you.
I do have camera running.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're okay.
Good.
We got the feed the dogs drama going on, so
Oh, it's 10 minutes past dinner time.
yeah, they were starving. I was surprised they didn't tell me how hungry they were.
I swear they can tell time.
Are you just recording? Or,
Yeah, I'm recording me stitching.
yeah, like if you wanted to, like you could set up a Twitch and like stream you stitching.
That actually might be kind of
Like
fun.
that's people do that with like art type things all the time.
Huh. That might be something to find out if anybody's interested in doing live streaming on Twitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like you can save your streams when they're over there, so it's like basically think of it as it uploading as you go.
Yeah. Well, I qualify to do live YouTube live, so I could do that too. I just don't know how.
Yeah.
But I'll ask.
Most live streamers go to Twitch over YouTube. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never used either, so I don't know how if there's like if it's just a personal preference or if it's like no, YouTube Live is not as good.
Okay.
But
Hey, Light,
something to look into.
would you run to the truck, grab that, we'll get the blanket out and the tape measure.
Okay.
I'm gonna have you measure James's headboard, on how much bigger we actually went.
Is it locked or?
It's unlocked.
Okay.
Okay, so for those of you watching this, if you would like a live Twitch, go ahead and leave that in the comments. If you'd like me to start doing like a scheduled YouTube live, we can do that too. Either way, go ahead and leave it in the comments and be more than happy to consider it. Stitch alongs won't always be needlepoint like this, because I also do a lot of cross stitch, but depending on what I come up with for my 2018 rotation, it will probably, whichever piece I'm focusing on, will be whatever ends up being live streamed. Right now, Nicole and I are both working on Stars from New Millennium.
Then just go measure it.
Yeah, just the width.
She has more squares done than I do. You can find her at Instagram at the second 35 years. Or maybe it's the next 35 years. I have to double check that. But I'll post it. I'll post her Instagram feed in the comments, and you can see her progress. My Instagram is, of course, Chandra Tasha, just like my YouTube channel. But it wouldn't hurt to put that down there either. I don't like that one. That one is fine. See what happens when I get distracted. I end up not looking perfect. There's some of you saying, I didn't see any difference. Trust me, I could see it. I could see that the threads were crossing over. So right now, I have 15 pieces that I have started stitching on. Either cross stitch or needlepoint. And I have 40 projects that are completely kitted. Some of those 40...
A bit beneath 43.
Yeah. So we're significantly bigger. Awesome.
So some of the pieces I have upstairs kitted are actually pieces that were started by somebody else who is no longer stitching. And she gave them to me to finish. And as I finish off my pieces, I will be adding her pieces in as new starts. I'm trying to cut down to about 5 whips at a time. So for every 2 pieces I finish, I'm doing 1 start. The exception being that I did sign up for the Frosted Pumpkin Into the Jungle stitch along. And I signed up for Armada Designs class schedule stitch along. And one of my goals is to stay current with those stitch alongs and possibly during the time that stitch alongs come out, that first week, of the month also work on last year's Fabulous Women Stitch Along. Okay, I hate this when the nails get in the way. They're pretty, but I'm still not used to having long nails. So when all else fails, use the tweezer. Something's off. Okay, there it is. Oh great, the battery power is low on my tablet. So this may end abruptly.
You need to get it plugged in.
I don't think I have a cable that reaches that long.
You need an extension cord.
I'm okay. It might be an idea for me to plug it in. I'm going to pause for a second and get an. We made a few adjustments to the camera angle and
We'll start stitching, we'll adjust it.
my husband's going to adjust it once I get started stitching again so that you can actually see what I'm doing without my hand being in the way. Ah. Sometimes the stand tilts. Okay, fix the mistake before where I was off a thread.
Let's figure it out.
Okay. That looks good from here.
You just keep raising your arm right across the lens. I just,
Okay.
An appointment on the other side of the valley in 30 minutes.
Okay. See you when you get back. So now it's just like being home alone again. My husband's left for an appointment. My son's upstairs in his room. I do like his idea about a Twitch account, but I don't know if that would work as well as YouTube Live. So if I guess there's another question is, would you be interested in watching a YouTube Live or a Facebook Live or something like that for a stitch along? The nice thing is that you could ask questions while I'm here. And, you know, I can use the underside of the needle minder to hold the thread there while I trimmed that. Because I'm going to be coming up in that hole. I dropped that before I got it completely straightened. What sort of things would you be interested in watching if I did do a live stream? Specialty stitches, cross stitch. You know, somebody mentioned the other day that they've just recently started cross stitching and they've been teaching themselves following written instructions. And they didn't see that many beginner videos out there. So that actually might be kind of fun to, you know, just start from scratch, go back to basics in the beginning, and just some of the things I've learned along the way. Such as right here.